All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Adapt, Attack, and Advance. I am Michael Braddock, the host of this new Zoomcast and podcast. I am pleased to have Brandon Korman, the Chief Tropical Officer of the Tropical Smoothie Cafes in the greater Wilmington and Leland area. Brandon, thanks so much for joining.
Oh man, it's been my dream to look at Tom Selleck without a one of those mustaches and a shirt. Thank you so much.
Man, I shaved my gangly looking beard just for you, and I even put on a shirt that is just, you're just giving me tropitude, man.
Riding the wave. The tropics,
ride
baby.
The wave, baby.
Thank you all.
Well, Brandon, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
The show is basically going to be in 4 parts, and it's going to be, I want to introduce who you are, what your businesses are, and then we're going to dive right into sort of the kind of the substance of the show, which is going to be adapting, attacking, and then advancing. So Brandon, share with the people watching and listening who you are, what you do, and what your business is all about.
All right. As said before, my name is Brandon Jason Korman. I am the Chief Tropical Officer of Tropical Smoothie Cafes around here in Midtown, Porter's Neck, and Leland, North Carolina. So got into the business, I would say, a little over 7 years ago. And what I consider my business is a 30-minute vacation destination for flavor. So I know people laugh when I say it, but
pretty solid.
It's true, because what we try and do is we try and take people to a place where you want to kind of relax and eat a delicious meal. So that's our goal. Our goal is we want people to get away from their office, from their family, from just anyone that they need to get to, or bring people with you and enjoy the tropics together. But that's who we are in a nutshell. And I've been loving all 7 years of it. I will say that.
Well, so I have a question for you. So, Chief Tropical Officer, is that an official title?
That is on my business card. So when I hand you a business card, I am Chief Tropical Officer. I asked around, and I am the only one with that name in the entire organization. So, and I'm also, what were you gonna say? No,
that's great. That's creative, man. That's definitely a way to stand out and be remembered by.
Yep. I'm also considered Smoothie Prince. So that's my name up at headquarters. So when I walk around, I come in with my smoothie robe and walk around and give my orders.
Well, I see that's also the name here on the Zoom, Brandon Smoothie Prince Korman.
Indeed.
Indeed it is. Well, I appreciate you being on the show today. Let's dive right into the first kind of portion of some of the questions here. So adapting in its nature is to pivot. It is to become adapted and to make fit. So let's kind of fast forward. COVID's been going on in our area, at least for about a month, as far as some of the restrictions. So how have you had to pivot and adapt to business as this new normal?
Okay. So we actually kind of pivoted back in late February and early March. So I'm a big person in looking at data, looking ahead, reading articles all around the country, just using data to kind of get an understanding on where we are. So we were ahead of the curve. So we didn't allow people to go into our cafes two full weeks before it was put into law or even talked about. We made that decision. Wow. We made the decision early on that we understood that this was a problem and that we in no way wanted to infringe on the safety of our workers. We didn't want to infringe on the safety of our customers. So we adapted pretty much immediately. We went to work. So we wanted to make the safest possible work environment for our staff, our customers. We enhanced on our daily and weekly cleaning and disinfectant checklists. We doubled our purchase of gloves. So right away, we said that we are going to have to make some substantial changes to the way that we now interact with people face to face. So we knew that we had to do that quick, and we have. We've done a lot, actually. We're actually lucky that we are about 20% of our business is about sit down, about 20%.
Okay.
So as a fast casual cafe anyway, we were working towards how to kind of make a frictionless transaction for all of our Tropistars. We call all our customers Tropistars. So you have to start referring to yourself as a Tropistar, because Michael is a Tropistar. Thank you very much. So we have tools that we've been implementing for well over a year, like online and app ordering, where people just come in and they'll order from their phone, they'll order online, they'll come in to just pick it up. They don't have to wait online. But right now, what kind of our biggest pivoting standpoint has been is overnight, we've had to change exactly how we do business. So now we've gone from people congregating in our cafes to now going curbside. So, so now an app as our percentage of sales of people actually going on and doing curbside is now 38% of our total business. So in just a matter of 2 to 3 weeks, it did a little more than double that. But we make it easy because you can order from, like I said, the website, you order from a mobile app. On it, we have that curbside feature. You could just put in your make and the model of your car. So I've actually been working with our team and just developing and helping to put that into place. We're one of the first test markets in the country to do that, just because of my relationship with headquarters. And, you know, it's certainly been helping. I mean, other things that we went from a inside business now, so curbside and then delivery. So we've been working with DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, Postmates, local delivery companies like Surfside. Megan's actually done an absolute fantastic job in really helping out the community. She's from Surfside. So big heads up to her. She started a Facebook page and has done great things for our community. And we went from 6% of our business on delivery 3 weeks ago to over 15% of our business. And this is just in 2 to 3 short weeks. So we've had to make major pivoting in how we place the food, where we place it, how we get it to these delivery companies, and how we're making it so that it is of the utmost sanitary and of utmost quality. So we have had to pivot big times. You can call in. So another big adjustment is you can actually hear sometimes my wife, majority of the time, but me, I guess if you're unlucky, you're lucky enough, depending on who you're talking to. We take phone calls using LogMeIn and Sideline, and those orders actually go directly to our staff on the line, so they don't have to feel the pressure of, let's say, not to bore everyone to tears, but on an operational standpoint, from them not to have to go to the register, then go out, then go back, because what we're trying to do is limit the amount that our staff has to go from place to place. We only want them to focus on the aspect of our smoothie line or our food line. So you'll actually hear us. So Mike, next time you call in, we'll have a conversation. But
so if I call in, I'll get you or your wife, and then you log the order, take my payment, and then it auto just processes a receipt to the line, and then they just grab the receipt and make the order, and boom.
Correct, and they make the order. Yep. So from like 11 to 3-ish, you could expect. Okay. You should see me with my headset. It's great. Welcome to Travel Smoothie Guy, man. Look at it, But
I tell you though, and I definitely want to. I'm going to squirrel that one away to ask you a question later when we get to another part of the show here. As far as your pivoting now that you're face-to-face interaction, you really covered that. How has it been working with these various DoorDash? I guess we don't have Uber Eats in Leland, but maybe in Wilmington we have Uber Eats. But how's it been working with those contractors or those apps, etc.?
You know, believe it or not, it's been a little challenging. So I will say that right now in Wilmington, DoorDash is the biggest player of the nationals, and then you have Surfside, Cape Fear Delivery as our local affiliates, which we're thankful for as well. But DoorDash, they are inundated. You can never get them on the phone. If you have any questions, concerns, I have tons of dashboards and tons of data that I'm looking at every single day, but you cannot get them. They will not pick up the phone. So you really have to be mindful of how you are committed to talking to your staff about fulfilling these orders, because it's been challenging. So, I mean, really, just to be quite frank, it's been challenging, but we've been making it work. I mean, we really have. We work with all of them.
Well, it's one of those forced adaptations. You kind of have to do it to make it happen. Well, let's dive right into the attack portion. And there's a couple of things that I want to be sure that we cover during that period of time. Yeah. So attacking, I view this as a couple of things, sort of the actions that you're taking right now to just attack the problem, but also What are you doing from a mindset perspective? So let's just kind of dive into it. So attack is to set upon or work against something forcefully, or to set upon and work on.
Okay.
So how are you attacking the circumstances and challenges head on during this period of time?
I think that right now, restaurants in particular, everyone does have to do what's good for themselves. We've had restaurants in the community that have closed down because they've been fearful of their staff and whatever they've had to do. And I give them total amount of credit. They're doing what needs to be done. I think from our perspective, we also care about that, but I think that we are attacking it slightly differently. And I think the way that we are doing it is by talking about our philanthropy. I think that's the biggest way that I can show the community. We've been here over 6 years. We love being here. We love having our businesses here. There are customers that before this, when I would see them in the stores, I give them a big bear hug from the chief tropical officer, and I would talk to them. I'm Facebook friends with a bunch of them. They'll talk with me, or if there's things are great, they'll tell me. If things are not great, believe me, they'll tell me. But the biggest thing that I can do is let people know what we're doing. That's how I'm attacking, is letting people know. We are doing something called 100,000 Smoothie Challenge. We are spreading the word via all of our social channels. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and we are just talking to them about how we are giving away smoothies to healthcare employees. And right now, in 2 weeks, we are heading into giving about up to 500 smoothies so far. And we have just been there. People, they can pick it up at our store. And all we ask is that you give us a good word, send some pictures. And we've got some amazing pictures that we've been posting with all different groups, and, just ways to say thank you. And we've had a video made for us and just saying thank you. And I think it really shows that if there's something that we can do just to make life better, if we can help make our own sunshine for them, then it's totally worth it. So we've been philanthropic in that way. We've been proactive in talking about the Great American Takeout. So there are a lot of different restaurants that have taken a stance that they want to do a Tuesday, where you take out on Tuesday and there's a deal to be had. And we're no different. So what we do is, like, for instance, today, and I guess this is too late, so thanks for nothing on this Tuesday, Michael. We should have scheduled this yesterday, but no problem. I forgive. And next week we'll have something else. But like today, we're still open. And in fact, it's $5 off of 25. You can use a code TROP5. So actually, you still have another hour to order. So you could order for dinner.
Okay.
And you could order online or on our app. And we are a part of the Great American Takeout. So,
can you repeat that info and that code and all that info?
Yep. So it's # Great American Takeout. What you do is you can go on our website and you could order directly from there, or you can go on our app and you get $5 off of $25 when you order and you use the code TROP5.
Okay.
You writing down your order now for your family. This is what I'm.
So let's talk a little bit about that. So you brought us some really interesting points, and I just want to go back to. Okay. So you had mentioned, was it 100,000 smoothies to healthcare workers?
Yep. So right.
Is that a tropical smoothie nationwide initiative? Correct.
That's system wide. Our goal is to get to 100,000 smoothies, and we're actually over. As of today, we're over 80,000. So we are almost there as a national brand. Which I'm really just happy and just delighted to just be a part of. I just think it's just such a great cause if we can do that.
That's an interesting, that is a very interesting marketing approach. It's kind of a quasi-marketing approach from the standpoint of it's really doing the right thing. And like you said, giving back to the healthcare workers, but it works very well from, hey, here's what we're doing. Here's what our company culture is all about. So we're not only just talking about making your, what do you call it? A 30-minute destination to
vacation destination for flavor. Come on, Michael.
30-minute destination for flavor, but you're also, you're also putting that out there with regards to the actions and saying, hey, we support you. We're here to help you.
Well, I think now more than ever is the time to show that the community has been great to our family. I mean, we live here and we've had the chance to enrich lives for over 6 years. I think if nothing else, this is what I feel that I want to do. I'm hoping that people get an understanding about us through it, but I just love the fact that we're doing it in the first place.
Yeah.
I just think it's something that we should be doing. Other things that I've been doing, philanthropy is obviously the most important, and then some lesser important ones. I actually started advertising on connected TV. People are home now, so
Okay.
hopefully this week, if you have a Roku box or Sling, or if any of those types of things, you may see a Tropical Smoothie Cafe commercial. It's got our delivery information on it. I've also ordered signage for outside our stores, so we've ordered at least 16 more signs. We'll put about 3 to 5 of them out on the street near where we are, and it'll talk that we're open for carryout, for delivery. It'll talk a little bit about that we're here. Come say hi.
So I noticed that a new one just went up, I guess, a couple of days ago, of the Waterford location. I saw that sign had just gone up, indicating that you're open for curbside pickup, online orders, as well as delivery through the various sources and services. Let's talk a little bit about we talked a little bit about numbers prior to jumping on live in the show, and it's up to you if you want to share that. But how are you preparing your mindset during these times to not get sort of sucked into the fear aspect, the chaos aspect? I know you're a very data-driven guy.
Oh, yeah.
So what are you looking at as far as key performing indicators? What books are you doing, programs you're doing, and also what does business look like right now?
Oh, God. Hold on. Let me just take my ulcer medication and follow it by wine. Give me a moment. All right. We're going to keep it real right now. So I will talk about all the other things that helped me, but just to keep it into perspective, in March, we were down between 30 and 35% in each of our stores. This month, it's trending right now that we are going to be down close to 50%. So we are on the 48 train, looking close to 50. So being perfectly honest, I haven't paid myself in 4 weeks. So I'm out there giving smoothies to healthcare workers, and we're out trying to just be there for our customers. But as a business owner, I haven't paid myself. In fact, we did the opposite with our staff, where not only have we not fired, not furloughed any of our employees, we've given them 20% more in their paycheck per hour, just to thank them kind of for the work that they've done. And we just feel that, again, that's a thing that I want to do. I want to thank the people that have stuck with me. So keeping it real, what I'm thinking about is not right now. I'm trying to induce the pain to then understand that there will be light later, and I don't want to lose my key people. So I want to keep them happy. Other things that have kind of prepared my mindset, and this is what I think are a couple of really good things. It helps to talk with your network of other intelligent people. So continue. I know that people are feeling isolated, they're feeling alone, but a way to not feel alone is talk to people that are in business. Get a sense of what they're doing. In fact, have conversations with people smarter than you. Michael, you're doing that right now. So I mean, listen, you step.
That's right. You're smarter than I am. So.
Step 3, set up your own Zoom type meetings and go over things like business, and even if you have time for your personal life. I've set up Zoom chats with my 2 friends. We call it Meeting of the Neverminds, but what we do is we usually get together once a month for dinners, and we talk personal and BS, but we also talk about what's going on in our businesses. How can we help each other through those concepts of operations to marketing to getting yourself from a startup to the next level, capital, deal making, anything that you can think of, just do that. Other steps that I've taken is be educated. So you can go on sites that promotes facts. I'm not talking about every little thing that talks about this thing or that thing. I'm talking about go to arcgis.com or covid19.healthdata.org. These are all websites that are giving you just real-time data so you can get an understanding of what's going on in your area. I'm trying to be a better person. So this is actually a really good way for you now to be introspective, to start thinking about you. So how could I be a better father? How could I be a better husband? How could I reacquaint myself with hobbies that I didn't have time to do? So last week I hung up my guitars in my man cave. I just got started on my man cave. I hung up all my guitars and I started playing more often now. So I've been reading all different types of books. So now I've given time per day, an hour per day for reading. Stuff like protecting your assets or magazines or online to stay current with your industry. So if you have an industry, spend a portion of your day just seeing what's going on in your industry or just reading.
That's so good right there. What you just talked on, that is so good to see what's going on in your industry and find out how other people are adapting, attacking, and advancing in their industry. And then also follow what some of the other industries are doing, because like what you were just talking about, there are going to be leading indicators as to when things start to turn, even though certain industries that people listening or watching may be in are sort of lagging indicator or lagging industries. But if they see those leading businesses and those leading indicators start to turn in a positive manner, then that means that it's on its way. Specifically to one of the things that I'm referring to is look at what in my business, look at what showing data is showing. So as soon as you start seeing showing data start to do a little bit of an uptick, then that means, okay, people are feeling comfortable about getting out there again. Governmental regulations and restrictions have started to be loosened. And you can see, okay, if it's trending, you can sort of extrapolate that forward and hopefully see that it's going to be trending upward. So that's great. That is great information, Brandon. One other thing, you touched on it briefly, but if you want to share any more on it, how are you engaging with your team members during this period of time?
I think that it is important that you are there for them business-wise and non-business-wise, right? So we have the operational aspect that my business has to run in a certain way. That's level one. Level two is, okay, now if we can operate at a certain level, maybe this is the time that we could take a look at our operations, see what could we change? What can we make different? How can we thrive instead of just being the same? This is actually a unique opportunity, and you can include them in the process. So while instead of the humdrum of this, you include them now more than ever to help the decision-making process, so they really feel like they're a part of helping your business now come out from potentially what is, a catastrophe to hopefully months later for you to be in a different state. The other aspect is we're there for them emotionally, and that's probably more what my wife does, I will admit, but she just frequently, you just check in. You say, how are you doing? What is going on in your life? How are you feeling? Sometimes you may get answers that you don't want to hear, but that's okay because you're getting reality. It's better than just fine,
Mm-hmm.
They're I have all teenage, all my employees are 16 to 24-year-olds. So I'm fine, Dad, because I'm just a dad to them. So I'm okay, Dad, bring me around.
Yeah, but it's interesting, if you look at the composition, like you said, of your staff, and then that age range, their norm has been completely shifted, especially those that may be seniors in high school, seniors in college, and the things that are considered to be milestones for them, they may not have the opportunity to have this year.
Correct. Maybe I do a tropical prom, Michael. Maybe we have palm trees. Maybe everyone does, we do hula, we do other things. Then maybe they could have some sort of a prom. Am I in the right direction? Probably not. But these are the things that they laugh at that gets me at least have them open up a little bit to me. But you're absolutely right. Like you just said, this is a pivotal time in their life. Think about if they're a senior, they were planning on walking down the aisle, having their prom. Think about if you're just about to go to college, are they going to actually be attending college?
Right in the fall, yeah.
In the fall. So you're absolutely right. So I have to think of the differences on how I have to focus my attention on that person and then just the 20-something-year-olds. But you're absolutely right. In fact, what I also do is I direct them to resources. So there was a resource where the National Restaurant Association was giving $500 grants to people. So we tried to direct them towards that. We're trying to give them kind of tools to succeed. So we're asking them, what do you need on the ground to succeed? What are some of the actual physical tools that you need? And then how can we talk you through some of the other problems that you face? And then how can we, get through those and make those better? So, we like I said, we're talking on the phone, we're emailing them. We're next week, we usually have a once a quarter conference with our managers. Now we're going to do it on probably Zoom or we're going to do a type of webinar thing. It'll keep us grounded and focused, and I can get the intel back to them, make better decisions on how to help them. That's all. I'm just a blocker. Do you know Tommy Iommi? He dated Mariah Carey. He was the head of Sony.
Yeah.
Isn't that his name, Tony? I think I'm right.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, head of Sony.
Yeah, he's the head of Sony. And he
said had the white beard, I think.
I think so. And he said his only job is to block and tackle. That's it. Yeah. Just let the people do what they do, and that's it. I'm a tropical tackler. That's it.
Yeah. That's now I'm thinking about it. Maybe he didn't have the white beard. Maybe that's Celine Dion's husband. I'm not sure, but
Renee.
But I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Your heart will go on either way, my
friend. It will continue to go on.
It will indeed go on.
One other thing. This is just a quick answer. How many team members do you have?
So before this or after this, because there were a percentage of staff where their parents would not allow them to work, which obviously I totally get. So I understand.
Well, yeah, both numbers is fine.
Okay, so before this event happened, we had a tiny bit over 50 employees total, and now we're probably surfaced to around, probably around late 30s, probably around 36, 30.
Oh, so 40% pared back.
Just because
of
there are people that immediately went home to their home state. There are other people that because schools closed, they didn't have a place to stay, so they just immediately went back to their parents' home state. There's others where their parents wouldn't allow them to work. So just that natural attrition, you were looking at around 30 to 40%. Not that we didn't want to fire it, we would have tried to find hours for as many people as we could. But
yeah, sometimes just circumstances. It can't, yeah.
Correct.
Well, this has been great. Let's get on to the last part here. Advancing, or I view it as pushing ahead to accelerate the growth or progress of, to bring forward in time, and to move forward and perceive. So as we navigate through these times, you touched on a couple of things, and I made a note to make sure that I bring it back up. So as we're navigating through these times, do you think that you will continue to implement some of these new techniques and work habits and communication kind of style?
Yeah, I mean, reality speaking, life I think as we know it for now and even for the future, I think is going to be a little different, obviously going forward. So we have to look at it through that lens. What is going to be changed forever versus what is just going to be changed for now. I'm on 4 different boards at our headquarters, our operations, IT, marketing, CEO roundtable. So it's up to me, I think, as a thought leader, to take that time every day, take that portion out to think of the future. That's what I do. So I take every day a little bit of time and I jot it down to all the lenses that I feel that I could add value. And I do that. And I have meetings with all those people. I talk with other, like I said, friends, family members, associates, and we try and come together to talk about what we think and then what we could do to initially help in the short term versus our long term. So, so that's the trials and tribulations, but I'm going to have learning tools going forward. And I've got to be introspective, like I said, and I've got to be ready to mobilize. So, listen, my understanding is I can't control what's in front of me right now, right? I can't control it, but I can control either my mind, how I see it, or I can control how I decipher that and then lead my team after that, or anyone that's
very true. That's solid advice.
Right? That's the only thing I could do. So that's what I do. So, when people ask how you're doing, I told you how I was doing, but then after that, I did a little complaining, but then you're done. You have your couple seconds of complaining, and then after that, you get a sort of clarity and say, you know what, but here's what I'm doing. What are you doing? And that's it. You get it out, and then you keep it moving forward.
That's exactly right. Just keeping things moving in motion, like you said. It's one of the things you talked about. So you were talking a little bit about what is the near term, what does the long term look like. So the item that you were talking about earlier, where someone calls in and then it immediately goes to the line, essentially. Mm-hmm. That I would think that maybe is something that will probably be implemented to standard operating procedures.
Correct. So how we value, and I just got off the phone with one of our operations team members, and I said we have to bucket it to high, medium, low priority. And I said stuff like that has to be put to high priority. How are we going to be contactless, frictionless, the least amount of steps, the least amount of our team in contact with our customers? That's the lens where we have to start speaking about right now. Is it, whatever that may be, and I don't want to pontificate about too many particulars. I don't want to put too many ideas in people's head, but just know that's the lens in which I'm speaking through.
Sure. Sure. That's great. Well, Brandon, I don't want to take up too much of your time, and I appreciate you being so giving with the information. What I want to talk to you about lastly is you're open for business. All, what, 4 locations?
3 so far.
All 3 locations?
Yeah.
You are open for business.
We are open. We are very open.
Go through how people can order online via the website, how people can order through the app, phone calls, and then go back through one last time the Tuesday takeout in America.
No problem. Okay. So before that, if there's anybody watching who has not been to our place, just to let you know, we're not just smoothies. So I at least want to get that out there to people. We have wraps, quesadillas, flatbread, sandwiches, bowls. I mean, we have delicious flavor profiles that we make fresh in-house. So we're a little bit different of a concept where everything is made to order. It's cut. So we have basil mayo. We cut the mayo and actually make our basil mayo. We have cilantro that we cut every morning. We make our own chicken salad fresh. A tropical chicken salad that we make fresh. We have so many different. We have a Cali chicken flatbread with fresh avocado that, so I just want to get across to people that Smoothie is only half of our business. So if you've never tried us, now's a really great time. And now may be the best time more than ever. That you want a variety, you're at home. Let's start with that. Easy way to order for us is, one, you go to tropicalsmoothiecafe.com. You go straight to our website, right on the landing page, there's order now. And as you order now, you can actually pick to get delivery. So you can actually press on one of our delivery partners on the landing page, or you can go through the ordering process and you can just let us know that you're curbside. And we have buttons for that, and you go through a really easy ordering process. You can do that on your laptop, desktop, or you can download our app. And if you download our app, you actually get rewards. So you get $5 for every 55 that you spend. You have all different reward levels where as you start gaining momentum, as you start spending more, you'll get more like birthday offers, free supplements, free types of things that you'll get as you spend more with us. So being part of the app, you will get a lot of those positive things out of that. So that is our phone. That's our online ordering. Ways in which you can support us. And then I will get to Great American Takeout.
Yeah, sure.
I know you have bated breath over there, but.
No, you're good, man.
So think of a meal for you and your families. That's one way. So don't just think of us just for yourself. You're at home. You think of us for several meals, to order for the whole family. Or if you do happen to have a couple of associates that you have to have over for all of you. We use delivery drivers. So you can order through Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub. Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub. Uber Eats, you could also go locally, like I said, through our partners at Surfside, as well as Cape Fear Delivery. You can go locally as well and support local. You can gift meals to people in need. So this way, it's a win-win situation where you can say, you know what, there are people in need. I'd like to buy meals for this people or this group of people that are working. Help us with healthcare workers. Maybe you can buy meals for healthcare employees or police department or fire department, anyone else that you could think of, gifting meals. This way you're doing a nice thing and you're helping a local business, which is us. We are also going to be selling gift cards. And if you buy from us, you can have a chance to win at the end of the month $100 of gift cards. So you buy gift cards from us. Let's say you buy $10 or $20, you could be entered to win $100 by the end of the month. So this way, it really helps us out. We don't have to discount our gift cards, and it gives you a way that you have a potential chance. You can email us if you're interested in that at tscwilmmarketing@gmail.com. So tscwilmmarketing@gmail.com for more details for that. Great American Takeout. Every Tuesday, we are going to be coming out with a new code, and I put that up all along our Facebook, our Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, as well as other Facebook groups. So we have been involved in the Wilmington Takeout and Home Delivery, Leland Takeout and Home Delivery, and all these other different Facebook pages that have been nice enough to let us post on there. So I do thank all the local people that are doing some really great things. There's a gal who created a website called Caring to Deliver, and she's helping out with restaurants as well. So there's really great people doing really great things. And then lastly, there are 10 things that you could do to help us that you don't even have to spend any money. You can follow us on social media, like our posts, share our posts, comment on our posts, tag friends that would like them, post photos of all of our offerings, tell friends and recommend us, write positive reviews about us on Google Yelp, sign up on our app, it's free and you get offers. And number 10 is send a message to us saying that you like what we do. So, Michael, it's been an
Awesome,
absolute pleasure to be on here. I have to say, this is a really great thing that Michael Braddock is doing. He is really taking the time and energy to really help other business owners and locally, and you should really be touted for that. So thank you for doing what you're doing.
Well, I appreciate it. This has been extremely helpful. I've got some mental notes that I'm going to make sure I get on pen to paper really fast, because there's some great takeaways, Brandon. So I appreciate your time today. And
no problem.
I think I'm going to order a meal for breakfast from you tomorrow, man.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. And aloha to you. Love that shirt again, buddy.
Absolutely, buddy. All right.
See you all
soon.
later.
Bye.
Peace.